Hello. Good morning, everybody. Hi. You talky boy today, hey? You gonna do some yoga with us, Bo? Hey. Hi, everybody. My name's Shannon, and this is Bo, my cat. If you haven't met him before, he likes to pop in and say hello during yoga. And sometimes he joins us in the poses, sometimes not. Did everyone see that moon last night? It was pretty awesome. The view from my patio was just amazing, and I did post a picture of the moon up on my page. Yeah, it was just really something. And then when it got dark, it was super bright. It was so amazing. Hi, come here. So we're just going to get started in a moment. If you've just joined us and you'd like to sit up tall, you could sit up tall. If you prefer to find child's pose or something else more comfortable, please go ahead and do that. We're going to just start here connecting into our breath and just bringing ourselves to the practice here. So just taking a moment to get settled if you're just setting up, and start to connect into your breath. You could have your eyes open or your eyes closed. And you could take a couple clearing breaths here, in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Or you could find your breath moving in through your nose and out through your nose. If you are a bit congested, you might want to breathe in and out through your mouth. And you could even start to lengthen your exhale, so your exhale is a little longer than your inhale. Getting to feel really rooted and connected to the ground. A moment to perhaps set an intention for today's movement practice. That could be something that could help carry you or support you through the day. It could be some way you want to feel, or an intention for what your day might shape to be, or just how you want to feel in general. As you're ready, excuse me, just as you're ready, bring your palms together at the center of your heart, or you could take your hands over your heart. Take a couple deep breaths into your heart space here. And take a moment to thank yourself for being here. I'm going to open the practice with an Om, so you can absorb and listen, or you can join in with me if you like. We'll start with a clearing breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. Inhale for Om. Release your hands down. if you can see my cat behind me, I placed a glass of water for myself so I could have some water during class, but my cat is drinking out of my water cup now. Hey, hey, that's my water. That's my water. You just drank my water. Now I'm gonna get a new cup. Oh boy, this is gonna be an interesting practice today. When you're ready, come on into child's pose. Oh, go cat. Oh boy. So child's pose for you might look a bit different, but find a child's pose that works. So your knees could be a bit wider, arms outstretched. Sometimes people like to have their knees a little closer and their arms alongside their bodies. Just find one that works for you here. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but he's still drinking my cup of water. So just knowing that you can come back to child's pose here at any point in the practice. Give yourself a moment to pause. Allow this to be a place to find some grounding and to center. If any of you have cats, you know. But my cat is very strange. His whole face is in my glass right now drinking my water. Oh boy. All right, let's come up to tabletop and start to create some movement here in tabletop, arching and rounding through your spine, and any other movement that feels good. You could just allow your body to flow in a way that starts to create some space for you here, and coming back to your breath, inhaling and exhaling as you're moving. Especially first thing in the morning, your spines, you just need a little bit of movement, especially if you've not been awake for too long or haven't moved around too much yet. This will be a good opportunity to get those vertebrae moving and a little bit more limber. Was that a good glass of water? You can't get your face all the way down there, dude. All right, we're gonna move right into downward facing dog when you're ready. And of course, if downward dog doesn't work for you, you could find a standing forward fold. You could come back to child's pose. So making some movement here that makes sense for you. You could lift a leg and lower it down. You could walk it out a little bit here, connecting into your breath wherever it is that you are here. The sun is shining right now. It's a beautiful day. And that moon last night was so beautiful and so amazing. You just feel all that light from that moon. Now all the sunlight feels very, very good. So we're going to come to walk or step forward. Come to the front of your mat. Bend your knees a little bit here and grab opposite elbows. You could let your arms hang. Take a couple deep breaths, maybe clearing breaths into the back of your body. Let your exhale release and let go. Good, just 2 more breaths here. Make a little bit of movement, a little swaying if you like, or just stay here in the center. Nice, sweetie. And we're just going to ragdoll all the way up to stand, just taking your time, coming all the way up. Come up to mountain pose. When you get there, maybe roll your shoulders back and down a couple times. Take a moment to really feel the connection of your legs and your feet towards the floor. And then from there, you could allow your upper body to lengthen or just feel a bit more spacious and open. And take another deep breath here. And take your next inhale. Reach your arms up overhead. Let's exhale and come right back down into our forward fold. And then hands to your shins, let's lift up halfway, lengthening the top of your head forward, forward fold, exhale. And now bring your hands up to your hips. Let's rise to stand, reach your arms up at the top. And let's move hands to heart center, exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up. We're going to do a few half sun salutations like this. Exhale, forward fold, beautiful sunny day. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward, shoulders roll back. Exhale, fold back in, and then hands to your hips, let's rise. Inhale, arms reach up, hands to heart center. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, lift up halfway again. Exhale, fold, and then rise to stand here. Reach your arms up at the top. And hands to heart center. Come back to mountain pose. We're just going to take a moment here. Again, connecting to your breath. Feeling the connection of your feet on the ground and the top of your head. Lengthening upwards. All right, let's take a breath in. Reach your arms up. This time we're going to sit back down into chair pose. So you could have your hands at heart center instead. You could have your hands on your hips, moving your hips back and down, sitting into the chair, and tailbone draws down here. Upper body lifts and lengthens up. So core supporting you here. You could be here or here. You can even have your hands on your legs here, or extend your arms forward or up. Shoulder blades drawing down your back. Let's take a couple more breaths here. On your exhale, forward fold, hands to your shins or fingertips to the floor, lengthen your heart forward, inhale, and then exhale, let's fold in and step our left foot back. So right foot stays forward, left foot comes back. You can have a high or a low lunge here, your choice, and you could bring your hands to your hips or hands up to your front leg. So I'm coming into a high lunge, but your back knee can be down on the floor, checking in with what you need here. Couple deep breaths here, or you could extend your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, hands come down. Let's step back to plank pose. Knees up or knees down. Take a couple breaths here. When your next exhale comes, either with your knees up or knees down, let's bend our elbows and lower to the ground. Now, as you come down, untuck your toes, hands underneath your shoulders. Take a little low cobra here if you like, or if your shoulders can stay down, you can lift up a little bit higher into cobra. And exhale. Let's move back to downward dog, or you can take a few breaths in child's pose as well. When you get back, if you're in child's pose, come back to tabletop or come up to downward dog. Let's lift our left leg up behind us, three-legged dog, and we're going to step our left foot forward. Give it some help if you need to. High lunge when you're ready, or low lunge. If you took that on the first side, back knee comes down, hands to your hips, or extend your arms up overhead. A couple more breaths here. When your next exhale comes, bring your hands forward, step forward into your halfway lift or your forward fold, and then we're going to fold in. And then let's inhale, rise to stand. Reach your arms up, and hands to heart center. Good, take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And again, inhale, let's lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. And then let's rise to stand. Hands to heart center. Just take a moment here, connecting to your breath. Now, hands on your hips or hands at heart center. Take a breath in. We're going to sit back and down into chair pose. Okay? So tailbone draws down, support your back with your lower belly. Hands can stay at your heart. Arms can reach forward, shoulders plug in, or extend your arms up. Deepen your breath. Maybe sitting down a little bit more. Take one more full inhale, and then exhale, bow forward. Let's take another inhale, lift up halfway. This time we're going to step our right foot back. You can either take high or low lunge here. You can keep your right hand on the floor and turn open. We're going to open up, twist towards your front leg, shoulders back. Your hand can be on your hip here as well. So just checking in with your shoulder. If this creates tension, bring your hand down. Now when you're ready, hands come down. Let's step back to let's step back to plank pose. I'm getting ahead of myself already. Take a breath in here, exhale, lower down, knees up or knees down. Spine cobra. And down dog or child's pose. We're just going to take a few breaths here. So either one, child's pose here or downward facing dog. Connect to your breath. All right, so we're going to lift our right leg up, or you're going to come to tabletop, step your right foot forward. We're going to take a twist here again, high or low lunge. Left hand stays down. You can turn towards your front leg, and you can have your hand on your hip, or you can reach and extend your arm up. Couple more breaths. And as you exhale, let's bring our hands down. Let's step forward, coming into the halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. And then rise to stand. Arms reach up. And hands to heart center. All right. Hopefully everybody's feeling warmish. And if you were here earlier, you saw my cat's head in my glass of water. I'm going to have to go get a new glass of water in a minute. My cat just drank all my water. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center and forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to stand. Arms reach up and hands to heart center. So I'm just going to turn to face you. You don't have to turn. You can have your feet together here, or you can have your feet still parted about 2 fist widths or hip distant apart. It's up to you. We're going to take a twist in chair. So hands come to heart center. You're going to sit back and down. Now, option here is to take your right hand across to your left outer leg, turn open towards the side here, okay? Or you're going to take your right elbow to the outside of your right leg, palms together, and twist here. Try to keep your hips square. This is quite a deep twist, so if this isn't working for you, come on out. And then inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. And we're going to rise to stand. Arms reach up. And hands to heart center. All right, so we're going to try that on the other side. Hands at heart center. Take a breath in. Sit back and down into your chair. As you do, tailbone draws down, core in. So you're either taking your left hand across, opening up here, or left elbow to your right leg. Palms together. The sun is so nice and warm today. Couple more breaths. Inhale to the center. Exhale, forward fold. If your feet are together, you can bring them apart and take an inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's step our left foot back for warrior one. Back heel comes to the ground. Back toes are angled slightly forward. Root down and come all the way up to stand. So your back toes aren't all the way out to the side. They're a little bit more angled forward, so your hips are facing forward. And you're not feeling a pull through your knee. Front knee comes over your ankle, and then begin to lift your upper body. Options: hands on your hips, hands at your heart. You can open it wide like this for cactus arms or goddess arms. Or you can even reach your arms up overhead. Couple more breaths here. So when you're ready, begin to straighten out your front leg, hands to your hips. You can always shorten your stride here a little bit as well. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, come to hinge forward and down. And as you do, if you have yoga blocks, this might be handy to have your hands on some blocks, or you can have your hands on the floor. Or if you can't quite reach the floor, even a deeper bend to your knee and hands above your knee. We're going to come into pyramid here, so folding forward, or staying about halfway up, but folding forward if you can to feel a little bit more through the back of your leg, unless you're already feeling a lot. Now begin to lift up halfway here. You can have blocks or no blocks. You can bring your blocks with you. Walk your hands forward. As you do, lift your back heel, push off your back toes, lift your back leg up. So again, you can have blocks or no blocks. So find a little bit of a halfway lift. Hips are square, back leg lifts. You're going to fold in over your front leg. Press down through your standing leg. When you're ready, bring both feet to the front of your mat and let go of your blocks. Fold in. Maybe take a clearing breath or two here. Deep breath in and then exhale. And let's take a nice slow ragdoll. Let's come up to stand. Coming back to mountain, taking a moment to pause. Take an inhale to reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And then lift up halfway. And then this time step your right foot back. Back heels planted. Press down to rise, hands up to your hips. So warrior one again. Front toe or back toes are pointing, angling slightly towards the front corner of your mat. Hands to your hips here. So keeping your back leg straight and anchored, bend into your front knee. So try to keep your back heel on the ground. Hips facing forward. Lots of arm variations here. Connect to your breath. When you're ready, straighten out your front leg, bring your hands to your hips, take a deep breath in here. So you can always shorten your stride, bringing your back foot a little closer. Again, if you have blocks, you might want blocks underneath your hands. If you don't, that's okay. You're going to lift up maybe halfway and stay here with some length through your spine, or some of you may decide you're going to fold forward and down. Connect into your breath wherever it is that you are. And then begin to either take your blocks with you, lift up halfway, or walk your hands forward, lift your back leg up. Hips are square, so inner thigh lifts your back leg. Root down through your standing leg. Maybe fold in here. And just as you're ready, stepping your feet forward, taking your forward fold, maybe taking a clearing breath or two here. And again, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's step back to plank pose. Knees up or knees down. We're going to lower all the way down. Okay. So, cobra, if you like, or finger stand cobra. We did this yesterday as well. So your hands come wider than your mat onto the floor. Pop up to your fingertips. So it's like a little creature, little spider. Root down through your feet. Now, if you're coming to finger stand cobra, you want to wrap your shoulders back, elbows drawn in, and you can pause here. Today we're going to bend one, you're going to lean one shoulder down and inhale to lift up. If this creates any discomfort in your shoulders, just skip this part. You're just taking a bit of a twist, breathing in, exhale, breathing in, lifting to the center, exhale to the side. And one more on each side, inhale. Remember, you can skip all of this. Stay in the center, stay in a low cobra. Listen to what your body is telling you. And exhale. Good, so we're gonna come back to child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here. Lengthening out your lower back, maybe settling some energy. I did mean to mention, you can always put some music on in the background as you're practicing with me. If I put music on, Facebook will delete the video, so just bear with me while I get a new glass of water. It's my cat, Silly Bo Cat. Yes, I'm talking about you. All right, so coming up to tabletop here, just take a couple breaths through cat and cow. Now we're going to do a little bit of core engagement here. So you could extend your right leg back. You could lift your toes so your ankle's in line with your hips. Core pulls up here. You could extend your opposite arm, your left arm, forward as well, or keep both hands planted, just working on core stability here. Let your back inner thigh lift. Extend your heart forward. And when you're ready, both hands, both knees come back down. Take a moment to pause or move through cat and cow. All right, let's come to the other side. Left leg extends, core pulls in, root through your arms. Maybe your right arm extends forward. Or both hands planted. Back inner thighs lifting. And when you're ready, both hands, both knees come down. Again, you can move here or you could pause for a moment. When you're ready, bring your hands forward again and let's move back into downward facing dog. All right, lift your right leg up. Let's step our right foot forward. So we're going to come back to warrior one. We were just there, back heels planted. You might need to step your back foot in a little bit. Back toes angled slightly forward. Press down. Warrior one. So a couple arm variations. We did cactus arms, arms overhead. You could also interlace your hands and bring your arms up. It's a little bit more constricting for your shoulders. So if your shoulders are tight, part your hands here. Okay, so we're going to transition into warrior three today. Okay, so I'll explain it and then we'll go through it together. So you're going to start to, actually I'll just go through it with you. We're going to start to lift our back heel and lift up. You can lean forward a bit into your front leg, slight bend into your front knee, and you're gonna push off your back foot and lift up. So your back leg's lifted, okay? Now, hands can be on your hips as well. You're gonna lead with your back heel or inner thigh. As your back leg lifts, your upper body lowers. You don't wanna drop your upper body lower like this than your legs. So stay in a nice long line if you can. If you need to come out sooner, come out sooner. And when you're ready, we're going to tip all the way up. Come back to mountain. Take a deep breath in. Clear it out. Good. Take a breath in here. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And again, find a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. We're going to step back to plank. So you can either move through vinyasa. You can choose to come back to down dog and hang out here. You can come to child's pose. If you're moving through vinyasa, you can choose upper dog or cobra or finger stand cobra. We will come back to down dog. And then we're going to lift our left leg, step our left foot forward. Warrior one, so your back heel comes down, angle your back toes towards the front corner of your mat. Let's rise. All right. So we're going to spend a few breaths here in warrior one. Front knees over your ankle. Any arm variation here. Connecting to your breath. You can change your arm variation up too. When you're ready, hands at your hips or hands at heart center, lift your back heel, lean into your front leg, bend into your front leg, and then lift up so your back leg lifts. So, leading with your back leg, moving towards warrior three here. You could be more upright like this as well for warrior three. And just when you're ready, we're going to tip all the way up to mountain. Taking a moment, clearing breath. Let's take a moment with your eyes open or your eyes closed, feet rooting. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Let's find a halfway lift here. Inhale. Exhale, fold. And then let's rise to stand. Inhale. Hands to heart center. Exhale. All right. So we're going to take a wide stride on our mat. So just turn towards the side. And as wide as it feels comfortable, you still want to be able to hold your legs in and hug in a bit here. Feet are rooted, all right? And you could have your hands on your hips here, elbows drawing in, or you could interlace your hands behind you, maybe root your knuckles towards the ground. I'm going to take a breath in here, and then as you exhale, bend your knees slightly, fold forward and down, release the top of your head. If your hands are interlaced, you're going to lift your knuckles up towards the ceiling. If it creates tension in your shoulder, release your hands down to the floor. You can always adjust your stride here as well in this forward fold. Connecting to your breath. Now, option here to stay in the center or start to lift up about halfway. Keep your left hand, you can have it on a block or left hand on the ground, right hand to your right hip, shoulders back. You can turn open towards the right, and if it's open for your shoulder, you can extend your arm up towards the ceiling or just keep your hand on your hip here. And as you exhale, bring your right hand down, left hand to your left hip. Lengthen your spine, shoulders back. And you can extend your arm up here. If your arm looks like mine here, where your shoulder's really jammed, keep your hand on your hip. If not, you can extend your arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, come back to the center. We're going to pause in the center for a few more breaths, so releasing the top of your head again. When you're ready, start to lift up halfway and bring your hands to your hips. You can bend your knees, bring your hands to your upper legs, and rise. Let's come all the way up to stand. And then let's turn our right foot towards the small edge of our mat. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Now, we're going to work into triangle pose, but let's first come into Joan of Arc, I think it's called. I don't know, there's lots of names for all these poses. Front palms facing up, lengthen up, shoulders back. We're going to lift up and maybe tip back just a little bit here. So a little bit of a side body lengthener here through the front side. And then we're gonna hinge forward, keep that length. You could bring your front hand down. You can extend your back arm up, or you can extend your bottom arm forward. A little bit more core stability here, so if you need to, your bottom hand can come down to the ground. When you're ready, we're going to rise, hands to your hips. Let's turn our right foot back in and left foot out. Take a breath here. It's so weird talking to people that you can't see. It's so bizarre. Anyways, left arm reaches out, palm facing towards the ceiling, reaching up. And we're going to tip back maybe a little bit here. Shoulder blades on your back. Connect to your breath. And then from here, keeping that length, start to hinge forward, forward, forward. Now, triangle pose. Your hand can come down, bottom hand, reach up through your top hand. Or you can do this little bit of core stability here. Really pressing through your feet if you're doing this one. Core pulling in. Hi, Bo. I think Bo's going back for my water glass. Oh boy, inhale, come back up, scoot outside, there you go. Come back to the center. Oh boy, all right. Let's turn our right foot back. He's eyeballing my glass of water. Go get your own water. You have a whole dish of water, silly. Yes, bend into your front knee now. So a little bit of side angle, elbow to the inside of your knee if you want a little bit more of a resistance there, or elbow resting on top of your leg. Okay, plug your back leg in. We're going to extend either our arm up or forward. So here or here, connect to your breath. And let's rise. And let's switch. Bending into your left knee this time. Side angle. So you may know another variation of side angle, and that's okay. Just come into the one that suits you the best here today. And when you're ready, let's rise, come back up. All right, so there was something else I wanted to do with you guys. Let's take one more wide-legged forward fold here though. Take a breath in, exhale, fold forward. Let the top of your head release. Now we're going to come into a lunge from here. So lift up about halfway. Turn your right foot towards the front of your mat. At the same time, you're going to walk your hands around to the right. Lift your back heel. Bring your back knee to the ground. So you're in a lunge, right foot forward. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, just come into a lunge, right foot forward. Now, you have blocks. You can grab blocks. We're going to start and lengthen out the back of our leg here again a little bit. So if you can lift the bottom of your foot, maybe scoot your back knee back a little bit, flex your toes, lengthen up here, and then maybe fold in. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift up again. Maybe plant into your front foot, drag your heel back, or bring your back knee forward a little bit. Hands on the inside of your front foot, so your right foot comes wider to the side. Your toes can turn out. Okay, you can have your hands up on blocks or on to your mat, or you can bring your forearms down towards the floor. And if this is too much, you just come back onto your hands here. Okay, your back knee, you can always, if it has room, you can scoot it back so you're getting a bit of a lengthening through the front, your hip flexor here. Hey, Bo. Focusing on your breath, long exhales, let it go. Just as you're ready, you're going to release, come on out. And you might want to find child's pose here. You might want to move through cat and cow. You could also come into downward facing dog for a few breaths. So your choice here. Some of you might want to take a vinyasa. And then we're going to take both of those poses on the other side. So from tabletop or down dog, stepping your left foot forward. Walk your back knee back, lift the bottom of your foot, and lengthening up here. Just checking in with your breath. Fold in, just depending on how this side feels. When you're ready, you're going to plant into your front foot. So that might mean dragging your heel back a bit or walking your back knee forward. Walk your left foot to the side, hands on the inside of your front foot, and you can come down or you can stay lifted, and you're going to breathe here in lizard pose. Connect to your breath. Hello, pointing my fingers at you. So when you're ready, come on out of that side. And again, you could move in down dog. You could find child's pose. You could come through vinyasa. Just take a few breaths wherever it is that you are. Okay. So let's come back up through down dog. And we'll make our way back into standing forward fold. So you could you could walk your hands to your feet if you like. Coming all the way back. Letting your head release a bit. And then just nice and slowly ragdoll back up to stand for a moment. Taking your time, a few breaths. When you come up to stand, shoulders roll back and down. So some of you are practicing different levels, but I'm going to go into squat pose. I'm going to move into crow pose, Bakasana. It's definitely not a beginner pose. It's more of an advanced pose. So for those of you at home that haven't practiced this before, I wouldn't recommend it. I would prefer that I be in the room and supporting you and cueing you so I can see what's happening. But for those of you that have practiced crow pose, you're more than welcome to come into that as well. Yeah, but we're going to come into squat pose. So feet come a bit wider here, toes turned out, hands to heart center. Take a breath in, and we're going to sit down. And you could sit halfway down. If this doesn't work for your knees, just come on out, okay? So just really supporting yourself here. Taking a few breaths. Just want to do a shout out to a woman who's come to my yoga and paddleboarding stuff for a long time. Her name's Nicole, and her whole family is just recovering from the coronavirus. So just want to shout out to Nicole and her family, and luckily her husband's back home and on the mend, and that they're all getting better. So I just want to send some energy and support and prayers their way for sure. Thinking about them a lot. And anybody else out there that you know that's going through this right now, just sending them some love and support for them and their families. All right. If you're still in the pose, you can stay here. If you're out, you can come out. Now I'm going to bring my feet so they're close together. So my heels are lifted, and if you're not coming into crow, because you don't practice it, you can come onto your seat for a minute or grab some water or come into child's pose. For those of you that do practice crow, remember to look forward, not down. Don't want to fall on your nose or your face. That hurts a lot. And you're going to lift your hips, lean forward, and maybe lift your feet. And when you're ready, you lower. It's been a while since I practiced this. I'm a little wobbly. I'm like a wobbly crow, like a baby crow. All right, let's come on to our seats here. Enough of that today. You can bring your feet to the ground, maybe windshield wiper your knees a few times side to side. It's nice to see that there's a few people up this early anyways with me. I'm glad you're all here. Some of you may practice later on in the day. That's okay too. Just thought I'd try this time out. All right, so let's actually, if you want to come into pigeon pose today, you can. So for those of you that practice pigeon, it would be, we did this yesterday as well, right into some hip openers here lately. I'm feeling my hips. I don't know about you, but I think I'm just used to being a bit more up and active. So knee out to the side, same side as your mat as your knee, and fold in. Now, for a lot of people, this creates a lot of load and pressure on their knees, so not a good idea if you feel anything in your knee joint. You come onto your back, come into figure four here, so here or here, okay? So either one, finding a hip opener, pigeon or figure four pose, and connecting into your breath here. The sun is shining right on me right now. Ah, love it. If you're still in pigeon or figure four, start to make your way out of that side. And if you need some time in transition to release, go ahead and do that before coming to the other side. Let's give it a little bit of movement or whatever you need here. And then we'll come to the other side. taking your time, coming out of that side, giving yourself a little bit of a release. If you did come into pigeon and just give yourself some time to move before coming onto your back, you could come to down dog or move through vinyasa. And we will come right onto our backs here today. And when you come onto your back, if you like, you could bring your feet to the ground and windshield wiper your knees from side to side, or you could bring your knees right up into your chest and rock a little bit here, or just hug your knees towards your chest. And start with both feet down on the ground. And we're going to come into bridge pose here, just opening up the front of our hips a little bit. So your heels can walk back towards your sit bones. You could press into your elbows, draw your shoulder blades underneath you. And you could press down into your feet, lift your hips up, maybe walk your shoulder blades in. You could interlace your hands underneath you if you have the space. And keep your throat slightly open so that the back of your neck, your cervical spine is in more of alignment. Couple more breaths up into your heart space here. And just as you're ready, I'm beginning to release, finding a release, whether it's knees to chest or maybe windshield wipering your knees from side to side, whatever intuitively your body needs right now. And we're going to come into bridge pose one more time. When you're ready, pressing down through your feet, lifting your hips, drawing your shoulder blades underneath you, maybe interlacing your hands. Keep pressing into your feet, connecting to your breath. And when you're ready, let's release, come back down. You could extend your legs forward. You could have your knees up into your chest. I'm going to give myself a big body stretch here. All right, let's come into a twist. Any twist. I've been guiding through mostly 2-knee twists, so both knees up and over to the side. But you can find another twist that you like. So we'll twist over to the right first. Both knees can be stacked here. Or again, if you're choosing a different twist, just making sure it feels right for your body. When you're ready, let's come all the way back to the center and let's twist over to the left. As you're ready, let's return back to the center. A couple options here. You might want to come into bound angle posture, feet together, knees wide, feet on the ground. You could also bring your knees to your chest, come into happy baby pose here. As you're ready, we're going to release and come on out. If there's any one last movement or posture, anything you'd like to do before coming into Shavasana, please give yourself a moment to do that. We are going to come into Shavasana, which is lying on your back traditionally, but if it's more comfortable to lie on your side or in any other place, child's pose or whatever. Just me. Just get yourself settled. Some of you might want to put on a blanket or a sweater or something. And extend out through your arms and your legs. And take a couple of clearing breaths here, allowing yourself to fully surrender, to let go completely. Giving yourself this time to just be. Begin to deepen your breath. Give some gentle movement with your body, ankles and your wrists. Give yourself a full body stretch, or bring your knees back up into your chest. Just whenever you're ready, coming over to your side, take a breath or two here. Just whenever you're ready, coming up to your seat. Placing your hands over your heart for a moment. Take a couple deep breaths of gratitude for being up and in this practice, in this moment. Perhaps there's some other things you're grateful for right now that you can draw into your awareness. And I'm hoping that everybody is finding some peace, some grounding, some calm in their world. So I'm praying for everybody. I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. I am going to close with an Om. Again, you're more than welcome to to join me, but you're also more than welcome to listen. Start with a clearing breath. And then inhale for Om. Thanks everyone. Namaste. Thanks everybody. I'm going to be back here tomorrow morning at 9, so hopefully I'll see you again. Send me a message if there's any requests you have for postures, for anything, or just say hi. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Take care, everybody, and I hope you have a awesome day, and yeah, bye.